This week I've been talking about the differences between talk training and strength training, and answering the question is, are they the same thing? And then someone wrote in on the YouTube channel and said, I really like the stuff that you do, but you talk about strength training a lot. And I was like, yes, I do. And this is the reason why, because strength training is like your aerobic training. It's the fundamental base of strength and power on the bike. Plus, it's really good for longevity. I always think that a lot of cyclists still think of themselves as pro cyclists, and as much as we can learn from the pros, we also need to think about our ability to be strong in the latter stages of our lives. But also, by getting into the gym and lifting heavy and focusing on plyometrics and things of that nature, it builds our ability to ride our bikes harder and faster, makes us more resilient, gives us better endurance power. It's just such a good aspect of our training that a lot of cyclists just don't put in for whatever particular reason, and that's why I talk about it. There are other things I talk about on my channels. So a previous video that I did not just recently ago was all about fatigue resistance and working at tempo effort and how that can really project your aerobic capacity further. I talk about if you're starting back into a focused training plan, working at threshold is probably a good start. And then we talk about VO2. I also talk a lot about nutrition, having studied it and keep studying the evidence behind what works for master cyclists, with a whole view of looking at master cyclists. So it's not just about strength training, although this week I've been talking about, and will continue to talk about that way more, because I saw something on social media the other day which completely was the wrong message to be sending out about strength training for master cyclists, and I think it's good to discuss it. Here's the thing, if you hear me talk about stuff and think, I think I've heard someone talk about that before, that's cool. It doesn't mean I'm always going to just focus on that one thing. I'm going to talk about others, and if you want me to talk about anything in particular, just stick a comment in the comments box below and I'll chat about that at some point too.